Having a forum here, we need to roll call. Ready to open the meeting.
Harry Adams.
Here.
Steve Cooley.
Here.
David Gearhart. Freddie Goble.
Here.
John McGuire. Steve Henry.
Here.
Roy Roberts.
Here.
Don Lewis.
Here. We'll make a note that David Gearhart is pretty far out there. He's quite a bit of ways. We have an invocation for Freddie.
Heavenly Father, thank you once again for the opportunity to come before the city of Prestonsburg and its people to conduct the business of their own. Give us the courage and wisdom to make the right choices for our city as we try to lead it into a better future. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Prior to approval of the minutes, and I think I have a right that I can change the schedule of the agenda a little bit. I need to make a statement here. And first off, I owe the city council an apology. Usually we have the information out to you on Fridays. Due to some administrative issues that we had with last week, we were not able to work on it until today. So I did get it out as quick as I can. I hope y'all had time to review it. Next is we as a city council administration owe the citizens of Prestonsburg an apology. Regardless of what a vote is for, we need to understand that we as a legislative body have to give every citizen a right to be heard, their voice. If someone is given information that they need to put in, and let's just explain the process, be the easiest way of doing this. If a citizen has a complaint, they bring it to the councilman brings it to our attention, using our city attorney, clerk, we set up an ordinance. Regardless of what the ordinance is, we should at least give everyone the right to be heard on it. In our last council meeting, we had a motion for a vote, and we didn't get a second. Whether it be for personal reasons or whatever, all of the citizens were not able to be heard. And I think whether we're going to win, we're going to lose, regardless of which side anybody's on, it's the citizens' rights to be heard and their votes to be heard. Somebody that talks to Councilman Adams may be different from somebody that talks to Councilman Roberts. Same thing with Councilman Goble and Councilman Nunnery. So I think the people need to understand that if Councilman Adams says, I make a motion on an ordinance, it does not mean in no shape, form, or fashion that he's for it or against it. He just thinks it needs to be voted on. And if someone seconds it, it's the same thing. So to that, I apologize to citizens of Prestonsburg because we let them down, regardless how the vote's going to come out. Any councilman have any statements they want to make on that? If not, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes. Need approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Got a motion, need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I might note that was approval of minutes for 6:08, 6:22, and 7:1. Need approval of the bills.
So moved.
We got a motion, have a second.
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Being no opposed, it passes. Now we have visitors coming forward. We're going to have some visitors come forward here and speak to us. As you all know, we had a Perfection Group, which is a group that is interested in doing energy analysis and research on us to see if they can save us some money. But they would also be in the process of making money off of it. In this situation, we have Harry Carter, he's from the Department of Local Government, and Greg Copley, who is the UK Center for Applied Energy Research. They are in a situation where they can help us set up our scope of work and stuff and have us prepared to take bids. And I'm going to leave it over to whichever one of you guys want to start off. Explain the process to us and coach us.
I work for the Department for Local Government, and as any of you that have been around any time at all know that, DLG was a place where folks always went to look for grant money for projects that you needed to do and all. And as Denise will attest, that money has been diminishing over the past several years. And for what one of the things were able to administer some grant funds that came to us through the stimulus bill that helped local governments do energy efficiency upgrades. What we found is that we did a lot of replacing 100-year-old boilers and all that kind of stuff, that we realized there's a whole lot of unmet need out there. There's a whole lot for local governments, for your facilities. We generally probably don't take as good a care of them as we probably could. Your constituents have a lot more pressing needs, and our facilities kind of get tended to the back burner. So anyway, one of the things that we thought about as we figured out how, as an agency that provides services to local governments, what can we do to help local governments figure out how to deal with their energy efficiency issues? I mean, we've got rising energy costs, we have old, outdated equipment. How is it that we can help make this work? One of the vehicles for doing this is energy savings performance contracting. And in a nutshell, is where you take the energy savings that you get from doing retrofits to your buildings and use that savings to pay the debt service. Now, there are companies, and I know Perfection Group has been here to visit you all and done an assessment of the buildings that you have. And these companies will do the work, and they will guarantee that work, and they will guarantee the savings for that work, so that when push comes to shove at the end of the process, that you have a guarantee that you're going to save this much money in your energy costs, you're going to save this much money in your operational savings, and that will be sufficient to pay the debt service on the cost of doing these improvements. Now, that's a whole, the process of doing that, the procurement process is very different. Legislature passed it, I guess, the first time about 20 years ago, they tinkered with it in the meantime, but it's very different from your typical bottom, low-dollar procurement. It's a process where you will put out an RFP, the companies, these energy services companies will respond to it, you interview them, determine which one you think best fits your needs, then you negotiate a contract with them. It's very different than, putting out a bid with very clear and distinct specs, and then they bid on it, you open the envelopes, and you take a low bid. So, having said all that, it sounds a little bit, it's a little bit different. So what we thought, and the energy savings performance contracting since its initial passage by the legislature, there's been $750 million in projects done in the public sector statewide. Very few of those have been done by city and county governments. Most of them done by the state, by colleges and universities, or by K through 12. So what we hope to do is to help encourage cities and counties to take this on, to deal with some of their issues, not only to save energy, obviously, but to deal with a lot of deferred maintenance issues, to replace equipment, do some things to make you all operate more efficiently and be responsible to the folks that put you here. So anyway, what we're able to do is, if you choose to move forward with this process, to do a request for proposals, we have a template that we can use to work with you all, just so when you put it out, that we can help make sure that more than one company will respond, that it's written in such a way that multiple companies will respond, and that we will also, beyond what you all are obligated to do by statute in terms of your advertising, we will make sure that all the energy service companies that work in the state will get a copy of the RFP so they have an opportunity to respond to it. We can also, and this is, as much or as little as you all need or want, we can help. We can help evaluate the responses to the RFP. We can sit with you as you interview the companies that respond, working with you on the negotiating process. Greg at the center, we've contracted with the Center for Applied Energy Research to help us with this process, and Greg's got a woman that on his staff that is a retired employee of an energy service company, so she knows this stuff inside and out. She's been great at helping us work with local governments to make sure that you all get exactly what you need in the end. So I'm just here to tell you that this is where we're here to help if you all, as much or as little help as you need out of us. And this, the brochure that Greg passed out will help, next week, next month, whenever, if you're trying to figure out exactly what the process is all about. This is a good, handy-dandy little reference to refer back to so you can figure out where you are and what you're doing. So, does that help a little bit, Aaron?
You guys have any questions?
DLG have fees for this?
No.
One of the cities that's entered into a contract with ESCO is Greensburg, and we hope to have them talk about their experience. Probably Harry at the local
The next month, the local issues conference. We've had Yeah, and as we've started to move through this and the cities and counties that have worked with us, I think that that's going to be one of the things that helps us, from this point on is that, when you all can talk to your peers and other communities that have gone through the process and it's worked for them, that will help. But until then, you can stuck with us.
Well, I think to sort of clarify, we had, when Perfection's come to talk to us, we still had questions. What exactly is the process here and everything? I think you ought to guide us through that with your experience and knowledge. And I see no reason at all that we don't try to utilize you all as well as we can. And I think the council will agree.
Yeah, we got a report back from the commission.
We have. Yeah, I've got 2 books to look at, but I think that we need to let them. Now, you all come out and actually do an assessment first.
No, what we'll do is, if you all decide to move forward with an RFP, we'll help you draft the RFP to make sure we're, including all the facilities that you want to have a look at. And then when and then we'll do we schedule a day when these companies can come out and do a walkthrough of all the facilities, and your staff will be there so they can ask questions of them, because they're a lot really helpful in pointing out things that might not be readily apparent. Then what'll happen is when they respond to the RFP, their response, you'll end up with each company, you'll end up with a laundry list for each one of your buildings, all the things that you could conceivably do that will save energy and the savings that's attached to it cost-wise. So at that point, you have the opportunity, obviously, to interview each one of the companies that's responded, pick one, and then you'll take that laundry list and you start whacking through it. You could very well choose in the end to do every one of those things, which there's some of those things that may not make sense to you. They can, but you will make sure that they'll be able to explain, well, this heating and air conditioning unit, it's probably got 5 more years of life left in it. You don't necessarily have to replace it right now, or they can recommission it to give it a little bit more life rather than replacing. All that stuff is you negotiate through it, and in the end, you end up with a contract with them that does what you need to have done and what you can afford to pay for.
And you guys will help us
We'll
with
be doing
negotiations.
right through the whole process.
Now, that being said, we do not hold Greg Copley's family associations against him. We're not going to do it.
I'm from the Martin County side of the
Oh, okay, well, there you go.
Well,
All right. You guys have any questions?
If anybody has any questions or thinks of anything, my number's on the back of it.
I give you my card.
You have this card.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Okay, we have any more visitors that want to speak? Okay, let's move on to unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished
This
business?
thing we have on the Convention Visitors Bureau, is that unfinished business? And we address this?
Well, yeah, sort
Address
of.
this letter or what?
That letter was there for y'all's information.
Okay. Well, I think we knew this back some time ago.
Yeah, I think if you look at that letter, it sort of makes it look like we've dropped the ball and not done anything right.
Is this one of the benefits that's out there to help us with?
Not on this particular thing, they could help us make it more energy efficient, but not on this damage. In the latest flood, there was a lot of damage came forward on that, and the commission saw fit to send a letter to myself and all of you all and the Vernier family because of the damage that's been done over there. Due to a misunderstanding, and I'll just leave it at that, I took it upon myself last week. We do have, I think we've already bid it out. It's already been in the paper.
No, it'll be.
It'll be in the paper this next issue. It's been bid out. It'll be addressed. We'll take bids probably on the next meeting, and we'll be able to get on there and get the roof.
Can I ask what for? I mean, what do you bid now?
We're going to the roof. We're going to redo the entire roof, all thing, and that building's on the National Registry of Historical Buildings. We can't change that building. We can only do back exactly what has been done to it. So what we're going to have to do is there's called shadow gutters in there, which is basically a pipe inside a wall. They're leaking.
That's what we got now.
That's what we have now. So we have to stay with it. They're leaking. We're going to have a plumber go in before this and clean those out, get those in prepared, and then we'll be taking the bids for the roof, to have the roof done. We have a scope of work. It's very specific as to what we need done so that it sticks with, it keeps the building in the same architectural design it is.
What about the interior of the building next?
That's something that we'll probably try to have our guys work on later on in the year. For lack of a better term, I'm gonna call it off-season, if we are not hit by any more weather events. As-
Month of snow.
Yeah, if we get a little bit of decent weather and opportunity for them to free up some, we're gonna try to do some of the work ourselves. It saves us money. Any more questions about that? Nope. Huh?
Answer me. That's all I got.
New business, resolution number 07-2015. Don, would you care to read that for us?
Oh, here it is. A resolution of the Prestonsburg City Council authorizing Mayor Stapleton to open a checking account in the First Commonwealth Bank.
What that's for is that backpack for kids. We have donations coming in. We need a place that we can keep them specific. All it's gonna be is a checking account that we'll keep open with probably $50 in until next year's due.
I'll make a motion.
You got a motion, need a second? Second. You got a second, all in favor? All opposed? All right. First reading of ordinance number 09-2015.
Just the flood.
Huh?
This is
This is the floodplain.
part of it.
Actually, this first page.
Okay, it's ordinance for flood damage prevention.
What this is for, and Bobby needs to make a public service announcement with it, to follow under the regulations of FEMA and other organizations and our new floodplains that we're gonna have. This ordinance, for lack of a better term, is a very legalized description of all that stuff that needs to be done so that we can follow the guidelines. Is that correct, Bobby?
That's correct.
And let us vote on it, and then we'll let you make a public service announcement, if we have a motion to accept it.
If
No,
that's
it's just first reading.
Oh, that's first reading, okay. Now you speak, Bobby, I'm sorry.
As you know, that we have a new flood map going into effect September the 16th. And this ordinance is the ordinance that adopts that new map, that keeps us in the federal flood insurance program. We don't have a choice, we are required to adopt an ordinance adopting the National Flood Insurance. What I wanted to say is, in this ordinance, we have gone to great lengths to ensure our community's participation in what's called the community rating system. And that is a process where, in that rating, for those people that will still be required to carry flood insurance, we are taking the measures to ensure that they will get flood insurance at the absolute cheapest rate possible. By being involved in CRS, our goal is a Class 4, which would be one of the lowest in the state, the lowest for a city our size. And we're able to do that because of the amount that's coming out of the floodplain. And then there's a lot of things that we can do to go along with that will be discussed in executive session to ensure the success and part of that. So what I wanted to say is to everybody that is coming out of the floodplain, and especially to those that are coming in. Now, there's very little in the city that's coming in, but there's a lot in the county and other places, people that are coming into the 100-year floodplain that are not in the floodplain at this time. I want to say to them and remind them, and my counterpart Lon May is working with this on the county level, but if you are in a non-flood hazard area as far as FEMA mapping is concerned right now, and you are coming into the 100-year floodplain, it is important that you buy flood insurance 30 days prior to the new map date, which is September the 16th of this year. If you do that, you will get the rate based on the zone that you are in now. So if you are not in a floodplain, you will get the preferred risk if you get your flood insurance now. If you wait until the new flood maps take effect, it'll be too late. You'll get the rate for the risk that you truly are. Also, for those that are in the floodplain now and are going out, I'm not normally a commercial kind of guy, and I am by no means an insurance salesman. However, flood insurance, 35% of flood insurance claims are by people that are not in the 100-year floodplain. Flash flooding is covered only by flood insurance, not by your homeowners. If you
Not this year.
I need a motion to,
I'm gonna make that motion.
I got a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Okay, some information having come out of executive session. We were in discussion on a realignment of the fire department and code enforcement. Bobby will be moving to a code enforcement, floodplain, and permitting inspection. We're also joining a partnership with city utilities on this to put us in a situation where the floodplain manager, the FEMA, he's also going to be working with our FEMA, and he's going to be working with FEMA up there. All these are very interrelated, and by making it one department, which will be operating under the fire marshal's office. All council's aware of it, and unless I'm mistaken, all the council was in agreement that that was a good idea for us to do that. Bobby, congratulations to your new position. You don't seem happy. And that's all that came out of.
Sounds like work to me, doesn't it? You,
But that's
more work.
Yeah, that'll be start September 1. He's gonna be in a transition period between now and then with the fire department and the position. Other new business we have, and I do have a couple of things on new business. One is, MTS was here the other day, and they were basically doing reconnaissance about putting in the new phone system we have. We ran into a problem, and if anybody wants to see it, you're more than welcome, guys, to go look at the closet in my new office over there. We're ancient, for lack of a better word, in the equipment we have. They were gonna have to literally run this to 2 different closets in the building to try to bring our systems together. The only other option would be to put and if you look at the MTS, I made a video for you all, it's an 84-inch full-closed enclosed lockable data cabinet. What that will have in is all of our internet, all of our phone services, all of our communication infrastructure will be in one locked cabinet in one office in the IT guy's office. It's an additional $33,672.86 to get this. So, I mean,
So
we
you
have,
had a quote for a new system that
that's the same thing, yes.
now they, in addition to,
No, they can still put the system in the same way. It's just gonna be an issue of complications, basically what it's gonna be. It's gonna be in 2 different closets. Our internet's in one closet in one part of the building, the phone service is in another. They said that, and they had planned on doing it that way. When I had this discussion with the 2 guys that came here to do a review for what it was gonna do. And that's when I asked for this estimate. We took bids on the first one. We only had one company bid. You guys want to take bids on this one? On this additional $3,000, let me know, we'll send it in. This was completely 1%, caught me off guard, because they were,
well, the reason I question it is that they came and looked, figured out what needed to be done, and now they come back and said, does this make it easier on them or on us, or?
it's actually gonna make it easier on us in the long run, because it's gonna have all of our electronics running into one central location. It's not gonna be spread out in two separate closets. It will be an asset to us. It's something that and when we did the original scope on this, I never thought about it. But by pulling both of those together in the same room, it's just gonna simplify things.
So it's basically an add-on to the original contract.
Yes, it's add on to the original contract.
What's your feeling toward?
I think it's gonna be a lot easier and a lot, two reasons. One, the security of it's gonna be a lot better. It's gonna be locked up, everything's gonna be locked up in one office and then locked up in this. Second is the ease of any installation or any work that ever has to be done on it. Everything's in one area, one location. Instead of trying to chase it down through two closets. Right now, the phone system is in one closet, the computer system is in another closet. And they're not even close together. They're probably 60, 70 feet apart.
Well, I missed that meeting about the installation of the phone system. How much was that?
19.
19 something.
Really, we budgeted a lot more for it.
Yeah,
Which
we-
is originally what we were gonna change, the phone system.
Yes.
And it is centrally located, the phone system is.
The phone system is, yes.
But with the technology that we have, we're able to, run data and voice and all that stuff over Cat 6 anyway, or Cat 5, whatever it is. And then if we centralize, we can do a whole lot more with the infrastructure as opposed to just phones. And we'll talk about later, and other things that make up a lot of it. It's a smart move. It's a smart move. So I'm gonna make a motion to do it. If
I have a
I'll say that
motion.
shit.
I have a second.
I'll say,
I have a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, next thing on new business is we have a list of boards, commissions out there, and we have been trying to access people that are on these boards. We have no information on them. Tourism is one board. I think we have pretty much good contact everybody there, don't we, Cliff, as of right now. Our city utilities board, they meet regularly, and I think we're okay there. Park board is now meeting regularly, so we're okay. So we're okay there. Now, some boards that we need to find the members of. One is planning and zoning. It says meets as needed. They are going to be needed. If you're on this board, please contact us within a week. Give us some contact information. We don't currently have it. What we're going to, if not, I'm going to have to consider the position vacated. We'll have to work from there. Second is code of ethics. We have talked to one person on that board that we could contact. If you're interested, come by City Hall, let us know you're interested in this particular board. We're going to look at it with probably the next meeting. We're going to try to fulfill this position. The next board is housing. We took care of that tonight. Next board is Board of Zoning and Adjustment. It meets as needed. Also, you acknowledge the property and what's going on. Airport board it's solid, and the golf course board is solid. But the boards I listed off, which are Planning and Zoning, Code of Ethics, and Board of Zoning Adjustment. If you are currently on those boards, please notify us with contact information. If you are not interested, don't call us. We're going to consider a vacated position, and we're going to start fulfilling these positions within a week to 10 days' time. I'll be taking information to bring before the council at the following meeting.
Well, there's people that want to, that haven't been on these boards and just volunteer their time.
Come by City Hall, give us their name and information. Give us their name and information, what board they're interested in, and we'll definitely take a look at them. Right now, it's a matter of going out and having to hunt people to usually get this. We need people to get involved. We don't need people sitting back saying, well, I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Step up. That's what I say. Cliff, do you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, while y'all looking at that, I think it's a great idea. And, but, a lot of the boards, I think, have almost an interrelated function with one another. I mean, where it would behoove me to attend this board or that board. And I wish somebody would take a harder look at when they meet. You know, a lot of them are meeting all at the middle of the day or at odd hours or something. I didn't know if there was some way, and there may not be, but at least to look to see maybe you have, you know, boards, you know, I think the park, golf course, MAC, tourism, they're all interrelated. And I've not been able to make those go.
As you know, we've been 100% reactive because of the weather. So
I
we've been
understand.
back for the first 6 months. And this has been laid on my desk for quite some time. I think I've actually talked to some of the councilmen that different. We're in the process of trying to move forward right now. If Mother Nature will cooperate. We're going to try to
It
move
did start
forward.
raining bad till you got in office, you know that, don't you?
Somebody's doing a rain dance, so. But that's where we're at. We're going to try to move forward on these boards. First off, we got to find out who's on them. And I do agree that a couple, 3 of them are in the same, they're in the same area of expertise, I would say. And Bobby's going to be helping us with the knowledge that we need for the different boards in the planning and zoning and the board of zoning.
The planning and zoning board's been pretty much solid for a while. You've got one new addition, I think we put Jared McGuire on it.
Yeah, that's one that I
Frank
think.
Dixon,
Yeah.
Jared, Randy Burchett.
Yeah, there's some of those that we have to deal with.
They've always been, and I know they meet whenever they need to.
Well, we're trying to get all this together, and I need to make sure
Mike Vance was on it.
some of these guys are going to phone number for, and I'm familiar with it. And some of them I know we can get a hold of. Some of them's easy to get a hold of. Some of them aren't. But there's going to have to be some replacements on some of them, so. Any more questions?
How you doing on the open forum?
The Open Forum is going to be on the 14th day of September. 14th day of September, which is a regular meeting night, but we have to call it a special meeting night because we'll be over there for an open forum. At the time, I will be given, and I really don't like this term, but it's a state of the city's condition. That's basically what that will be. We'll be doing that at Max at Mount Art Center at 6 o'clock. Any more new business?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I just need to bring these up. I've had two people come to me about 2 matters that we might want to look into. One is Suddenlink bills crazy with, and I was under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, that we are supposed to be notified of that. When that happens? Is that right?
All I remember, we signed a 7-year lease with them back, just so we could get it up Stonecrest. That's all I remember. As far as them notifying,
I always thought they were supposed to buy something on the leases.
I don't
Other
know.
leases, we read copy of us, so
Yeah.
we'll pull that one so.
I'm getting quite a few people telling me that it's going up and they don't understand why.
Well,
Yeah, I've had that too, that it is getting high.
it's sort of selective about what's doing. I had some people mention it was going up, and some people it's not happening.
Yeah.
Any changes
Mine's
with
great,
rates, so,
but others have.
yeah.
Then I had a guy today who was trying to get internet on Crestwood from Suddenlink, and they said that they don't have cables up there, Suddenlink system, but
The,
it is up there.
Not the whole circle.
No.
Well, let me rephrase that. When you first get to the top of the hill, the 5 or 6 houses on the left still have that.
Okay.
Take in the,
No.
well, then I don't know. It should be everywhere else up there on the circle.
No, well, it's inside the circle there, not on the outside.
No, they have to pay to get it from the last connection box to wherever,
underground.
underground. That might be the issue. that-
Well, the guy he was talking to said that there was no service up at Crestwood, period.
Well,
I was talking to the wrong person.
Top of the tier.
if we have a 7-year lease, how long ago did we sign the lease?
Haven't been that long ago.
A little bit.
I don't remember.
2-3 years ago, sure.
I don't remember, I was on the board.
Huh?
We were on the council since 2000.
Since I've been on.
It's been 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's been-
I was thinking,
We'll look
we-
into it and see how much time we have, and that's also a question that I can address to them. I'll find something.
I know the gentleman you can call.
You write me down name and number, I'll call him tomorrow.
second, I had the second thing too.
Yes.
I had two. Behind Lane's Hardware, that alley area, for some reason, so I'm told by the folks that live back there, now that I think it's a city utilities situation, that you might want to mention it to them. Their basements and stuff is all started flooding when they laid that blacktop. The sewer's actually coming up into the basements now.
What that problem is, and that's an issue that we're addressing, the city utilities is working on. At one time, city sewer, city drainage was in the same pipe.
It still is there.
Not necessarily. What they've done is they've made two pipes, but when the water backs up in the drains, in the not wastewater, but in the drains, regular rainwater and stuff, it backs up, it goes down the manhole of the wastewater, and everywhere. That's what the problem is. That's the problem we have on, most of the city is separate right now. But they were under mandate to do that, and they
They
did.
were, at one time, Wes, they were working on a grant, I think, to try to take care of that backside down through there, and they had the alley all marked up and everything, and something fell through.
Well, there's been a lot of money come forward lately, and it's been pulled right back because it's having little emergency issues in other places. So we have a laundry list of stuff that we're going to have to be dealing with city utilities.
You're familiar with what I'm talking
I'm
about, right?
100% familiar with exactly what you're talking about. I've been to all the KIA meetings, I've been to 3 or 4 of the city utility meetings since I've been on. I think that their infrastructure is going to be the key to us moving forward, progressing. Okay.
Go ahead.
No?
Who maintains the maintenance for Mayhouse? Do we do it?
Well, us, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
There needs some things done. There needs some interior paints down there. It is, I'm serious, it is down.
I understand, I'm not laughing about that.
No, yeah, it's no joke. I was down there the other day, my wife was taking pictures, and there is paint down there to paint the interior.
And
behind the door.
believe me, 1%, I don't think it's a funny matter. It's just there was an issue with painting there, and,
Well, the interior paint's down
That
there.
was exterior paint, though.
well, it's all of it. It's been
It
addressed.
was
There's
inside, outside, ordered, door
I know
orders.
the roof was painted, but I don't know about anything
there's,
else.
and that's something we can discuss later.
And they have a hole in the bathroom down there too.
Yes, I think that's something we can discuss later on.
They got a whole word.
In the bathroom.
Oh, well.
With that leak.
Supposed to be.
In the wall.
You stole Freddie's joke.
Oh, okay. The wall.
Anything else, new business?
Just, anybody take a look at the old hot shop in Franklin store again? I mean, it's still
Yes,
an issue.
yes.
Continues to be an issue. We need something done about that.
As a matter of fact, we're trying to make contact with the current owner, just not haven't been able to yet.
Now that all the pigeons that run out of the Richmond building, there's
They're
more
all in
pigeons
there.
in that building now.
We have, no,
There's pigeons in there. Bats, pigeons,
that has,
lots of droppings on the sidewalk or road walks.
yes, that's been addressed, and we're trying to make.
Walk by there, and look at it.
I have,
I mean, Lisa's put a screen up to keep birds from going in and out of it. Because they're using it as a roosting
Yeah.
spot now. And it's a health hazard.
It's fire.
Anything else?
Motion adjourned.
Alright, got a motion adjourned, need a second?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No,